Kevin Durant's status, on the other hand, is in flux. Up in the air for Wednesday's Game 3 in Oakland. That strained calf still a problem. Last week, Steve Kerr said the Warriors' wins and losses in this series will have no impact, my friends, on if or when they bring KD back. I don't know if we believe that, and whether last night's win affected that timetable at all. Now that we know it's 1-1 heading back to the Bay, what's your feel?
Well, they've said that he won't come back until he practices.
Mm-hmm.
Then they said that he hasn't been cleared to be practicing yet. Then Steve Kerr said yesterday, but if he practices, we could bring him back after one practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having a difficult time knowing. I was watching Kevin last night. I was in the back after Iguodala hit the shot. He was jumping around with a lot of joy. He was so much worried about that calf. But being down 2-0 versus 1-1, the sense of urgency, I think, is significantly different had it not gone the Warriors' way last night.
Hey, let me tell everyone here, you do not practice during the NBA Finals. There is not one team that practices. Clay, banged up. Looney, banged up. Steph, playing a lot of minutes. You have, Iggy, banged up. No one practices. So basically what they're saying is, like, all he's got to do is work out, tell us that he's ready to go, and then he'll be ready to go. So they can do the practice, and, well, he's got to practice with the team. No, I've never, ever practiced during an NBA Finals because it's all about rest. Obviously the time difference. Right. There's game planning. The guys still work out. You still shoot. You might run over some defensive drills. You might go. But there is no actual 5-on-5 practice that would simulate a game action. So that's not happening. So it's really just about him and when he's ready to go.
I like when you talk about this stuff because you have been to 4 NBA Finals, and you can talk about what different teams have done, and not a single one of them.
No one practices.
You have ever had a practice. I guess there's something that Steve Kerr feels like he has to go through. I think this whole dynamic is so fascinating, and it does lead into free agency, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in this segment. But look, Kevin Durant has had to hear for years, hey, they won without you. You're just an asterisk on this team. They won without you. They could have won again. Well, they're without him right now. And if they get into serious trouble in these finals, if they had gone down 0-2, or if, let's say, for some reason he doesn't come back during these finals and they lose the finals, then all of a sudden his entire last couple years with the Warriors is reframed.
Validated.
And I always say about you guys in 2016, in some ways, by beating that team in 2016, LeBron James effectively shut the door on his ability to win another title.
Yes.
Because by you guys beating them, it made Kevin Durant feel like, oh, well, they lost the finals. I can go to that team. And when that happened, a super team formed that no other team has been able to take down, at least with Kevin Durant playing. It is going to be very interesting to see the chess game here with when KD comes back, what position the Warriors are in when he does it, and how that makes him feel about his time in Golden State, and whether that affects whether he feels like, oh, I do have to leave to find my own way, to have my own team, to win my own championship, which is the narrative if maybe he decides to go to New York or somewhere else. Yeah. Or if he feels like, oh, look, see, they needed me. And then all of a sudden he signs on for 5 more.
There's a lot of variables, but the one
I think it's fascinating. You follow that.
The one thing that I will say about this entire group is that right now they're not focused on legacy. They're not focused on free agency. They're only focused on it, on just winning 3 more games.
I believe that now. I really do. I did not believe it when they said it 2 months ago.
The day the season is over, a lot of things that happened in this series will come to bear. There will be those questions being asked.
Let's talk about the Raptors side, since they will determine a lot of what happens in this series. Yeah. What do they need to do to make Wednesday different from last night?
I think they did a really, really good job of sticking with their game plan. I like their game plan. I think their defense, they have to understand this intensity. Your defense that you play, the offense, the way you execute your offense has to keep going up. Mm-hmm. And if they played at almost a similar level. I know other guys like Siakam scored the ball better in game 1, but I just feel like they need to continue trying to raise their intensity. I think that's what they should focus on.
Kyle Lowry's got to play better. Just got to. I know that because of Kawhi and because of Siakam's emergence and because Fred VanVleet's been playing so well, that the scoring, we don't have to necessarily look at his scoring so much, but he is 6 of 20. That's just not acceptable, and he has put himself in bad position with his fouls. That 6th foul was an absolutely unacceptable play in that situation for a man of his experience level. He's just got to play better. Now, he's doing things. He's creating. He's taking charges. It's not like he's giving him nothing, but they just need more from their guy who's their senior leader.
But I'll say this about Kyle Lowry. The only thing that gets frustrating is I believe that this is just who Kyle Lowry is.
Right.
Like he has more glimpses of greatness and being an all-star than he does, being like a consistent guy, right? And so for me, I really think he shouldn't shoot 20 shots in a game. Not with, or he shouldn't he shouldn't be that aggressive. I think he should be setting up more guys and just taking open shots because that's what he should be doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, Masai Ujiri has said that the reason why Kyle looks so much more comfortable is he's playing the role that he probably should have had to a degree all the time, which is this sort of canny point guard, floor maestro, but not the star that you're depending on
Cool.
to do
They
these
need more.
things.
They need more of him.
Well, we'll see.
I'm not saying either you're wrong, but they need more.
Well, we'll see.
They do need more, but I think if he sets up guys like Van Fleet and Ibaka and Gasol, if he does that, I think it's just like him scoring more.
And we will see what the role players do on the road, which is normally a detriment to the visiting team, but the Raptors have done well with that throughout these playoffs.